Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 15 is entitled as Puruṣottamaḥ Vidya, Puruṣottamaḥ Yogam. Sloka 19, Part 17. Yo mam evam asammudaha janati puruṣottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena Bharata. In the previous session, we learned with an example of Jivatma changing body that Paramatma goes through changes not physically but from one state to another state. Therefore, he is Upadana Karana. We will continue on the same subject here in this session. Since this whole universe is born, controlled and exists for the benefit of the Supreme Lord, this universe is said to be the part and parcel of the Lord, like the body of Jivatma is for the benefit of the Jivatma. Therefore, when we say the Lord transforms into this universe, what it means is that the Lord who possesses various energies in the Sushma form transforms into the Lord who possesses the energies in a Stula form. Sukshma means subtle, Stula means gross. That is, the Lord who possesses Chetanas and Achetana objects in the subtle form as his part and parcel, as his energy, transform into the Lord who possesses all the Chetanas and Achetanas, the energies in a Stula, in a gross form, as his part and parcel, as his energies. Here, we must note that the change in form is only to Achetana object, not to the Chetana object. We have studied it thoroughly in previous session. In its unmanifested state, that is, Sukshma state, both Chetanas and Achetanas, living entities and non-living entities, the sentient and non-sentient, are in undifferentiated state. They will have no names, no forms. In the manifested state, Stula form, it has names and forms. Forms for the Achetana and different state for the Chetanas. Because Chetana does not change its forms. It changes the state from one to another. As the example goes, from child to boy, boy to youngster, youngster to adult. That's a change of state happens to the Jivatma. But during the unmanifested state, that is a Pralaya stage, we cannot differentiate between things, between Achetanas and Chetanas. But either in unmanifested Sukshma state or in manifested Stula state, the Lord is present within it. They both are Lord's energies. Therefore, the Lord himself only undergoes a change in state from being the super soul of his energy in an unmanifested state, then changes as the super soul of his energy in the manifested state. Therefore, he can still be called as Upadana Karana, as shown in the second example where Jivatma changes his state from one to another and he becomes the Upadana Karana for the Karya of being an adult. But although the Supreme Lord is the Upadana Karana for this universe, he does not physically undergo any parinama, any transformation, vikaram. It is just a state of his being from one to another changes. From Sukshma to Stula, that is from unmanifested to manifested. One more point, a side note to be taken into consideration is when we say Sukshma and Stula of the Prakriti, it is not that Sukshma means small in size, Stula means big in size, because the volume of Prakriti never changes. It is not that when we create something out of Prakriti, that creation that comes from Prakriti is outside of Prakriti. It is still within the Prakriti. All the changes and creation happens. Therefore, the volume, the area of the Prakriti is same in both state. That is, in unmanifested state, Prakriti is of same volume, and in the manifested state, the Prakriti is of same volume. Therefore, Sukshma does not mean small in size, Stula does not mean big in size. The reason we say Sukshma, because we cannot differentiate in its unmanifested state what is what. We cannot say this is Bhuloka, this is Swargaloka, this is table, this is chair, he is Devata, he is Manushya. Neither it has name nor shape. That is Sukshma, unmanifested state. When we can identify them, this is water, this is fire, this is Bhuloka, this is Swargaloka, this is Devata, he is Manushya, this is elephant. Then the same Prakriti is in Sthula state, manifested state. So it is the same Prakriti which is not expanded due to creation, did not contract due to destruction. It is of same volume, but within it the changes happen. Either it is in manifested or unmanifested state. Manifested state has names, shapes, forms, colors, etc. Whereas in unmanifested state, there is no name or form, which is Sukshma. With this understanding, there could be another wrong idea which may come. When we say that unmanifested, that is Sukshma form of Prakriti becomes manifested Sthula form of the Prakriti, then what we get out of this is the Sukshma, that is unmanifested form of Prakriti, is Upadhana Karana for the manifested form, Sthula form of Prakriti, which is this universe. Therefore, we may conclude that Prakriti is Upadhana Karana for the universe, which is not the right way of understanding. When we saw the example of Jivatma, we did not say that the youth body changes into the adult body. We said that the Jivatma within the youth body transformed into the Jivatma within the adult body. Similarly, it is not the Prakriti changes into the universe, therefore Prakriti is Upadhana Karana. It is the Lord who is present as Supersoul within the Sukshma Prakriti, unmanifested Prakriti, changes into the Lord who is present as Supersoul within the manifested Prakriti, Sthula Prakriti. That is why we often hear that the Lord is the cause of the universe. And also when we hear He is the cause of the universe, it is not restricted only to the achetanas, non-sentient entities. It includes the chetanas as well. When we say universe, it is inclusive of everything, both the achetanas and the chetanas. So, the universe is achetana and it has chetana in it, and within the chetana, the Supersoul, Paramatma, is present. Therefore, when we term universe, it's just not specific to universe, the world, the achetanas. It goes to the point of referring to the Supersoul, who is present within the Jivatma, where the Jivatma is present within the universe. Universe, within universe, Jivatmas, and within each Jivatma, the Paramatma is present. So when we say universe, it refers to Paramatma as well. Therefore, when we say that the Lord is the cause of this universe, it is the Lord who is super soul within the unmanifested energy, is the Karana, cause, Upadhana Karana, for the super soul within the manifested energy, the Karya, effect. Therefore, it is the same Lord who is Karana as well as Karya, cause and effect. It is the same Lord who is material cause, and He is the one which gets created from the material cause. Again, let's be very clear. He does not get created. He does not physically go through changes. It is just change of one state to another state. By this change of state, His Swarupa Lakshana, His essential nature that we learned earlier, beginning of this Sloka's few sessions, are not compromised. He is still devoid of any faults. He is single repository of all the auspicious qualities. He is above and beyond all the entities. He is boundless by Kala, Desha and Vastu. He is of the same form, Jnanananda Swarupa. None of those changes because His change of state from being the super soul within the unmanifested Prakriti to being the super soul within the manifested Prakriti. So, the changes only happens to the parts, that is, to His energies, not to Himself. But we can for sure say that the Lord changes from one state to another state, because He is the super soul within everything in all stages. Therefore, He is Upadana Karana. In the world, we never see the Nimitta Karana and Upadhana Karana to be one and the same. Pot maker, the potter, is different from the ball of mud. But what we are learning here is it is the Lord Himself, both Nimitta Karana and Upadhana Karana. Is there a way that we can understand this inconceivable subject of Lord being both Nimitta Karana and Upadhana Karana with conceivable examples of this world? That will be our lesson for next session.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.